My name is Todd Cohen. I am a volunteer for the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, and we are thrilled that Edison Television is giving us a couple of minutes to discuss pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is the fourth leading cause of cancer death in the United States. It is estimated as of 2014, about 46,000 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and nearly 40,000 will die of this disease. We're very fortunate today to have a survivor of this terrible disease of pancreatic cancer, Franco Jurisic, who's here. Franco, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Franco's gone through his own battles with this disease. I've been affected as well. My father had pancreatic cancer. He was diagnosed in 2001 and passed away in 2002. So it was a year after diagnosis. But Franco's a symbol of hope, and we're sitting here in front of the Wage Hope sign, the emblem, which is part of the organization, the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network's latest logos. So we're very excited that it is here. We're excited you're here as well.
Yep.
If you could talk about, first of all, some symptoms of pancreatic cancer, how you determined that you had the disease, or doctors did, and go from there.
Yeah, so my case was fairly typical in that I noticed that I was getting jaundice. My skin was turning yellow, and that is probably the most typical way that people realize that something is wrong. Other things that may happen even before you get jaundice is back pain. Unexplained back pain. People will go to the doctor and they won't be able to figure out why they have this pain. Unexplained weight loss, problems with your digestive system, changes in your stool. These are all things, but if you notice, all of these are kind of non-specific or could be explained by many different things. And so oftentimes a doctor won't get to figure out that it's pancreatic cancer until jaundice happens, and then kind of the lights start going off.
Yeah. And that was something that affected my father as well. He had jaundice, the yellowing of the eyes.
Exactly.
There's a certain number of groups that are more likely to be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, especially those that are diabetic, those that are smokers, and those that have a family history. I know my great aunt had pancreatic cancer, and my father had it, so that definitely could possibly count against me. Can you talk about your family history?
Same for me. I was diagnosed, and my father was right at my bedside when I was diagnosed, and then sure enough, 4 years later, he was diagnosed. And in the case of my family, we do have kind of the best case scenario, which is me, incredibly blessed to still be here. And then the unfortunate, much more typical scenario, which is a diagnosis, and by the time someone's diagnosed, it's often too late. And in the case of my dad, he passed away 7 weeks after being diagnosed.
And we talked about the numbers of this disease, the nearly 40,000 people as of 2014 when this is being taped, who are likely to pass away of pancreatic cancer. Currently, survival rate is only 6%.
Yeah.
So
5-year survival rate.
The 5-year survival rate is only 6%, and there aren't many that live past a year with this disease. So you and I are working to carry this torch and continue to make a voice for this disease. There aren't many survivors. So what is it like from your standpoint to be someone who is a survivor and having the ability to raise awareness for pancreatic cancer?
Yeah, exactly. I think you hit it right on the head. The fact that I am a survivor, a 6% survival rate, it's incredible to go to events that the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network puts on where you meet with other survivors or people that are battling the disease, and to go year after year and see those people again and hear that they're doing well and see that they're doing well. But I think each of us then feels a responsibility to raise awareness, to raise funds, to do something about the trajectory, which, as you mentioned, right now, it's looking like pancreatic cancer will go from the fourth to the second leading cause of cancer, and that's unacceptable. And when you add in the whole genetic component of it, you don't want to see a loved one go through this, and so it does kind of become incumbent upon all of us to help out.
And then one thing that we would suggest is if you know somebody that has pancreatic cancer or has been recently diagnosed with this disease, that you go to pancan.org, and there's a toll-free number at the bottom of the website where you can get free information from the Patient and Liaison Services. That's the PALS program. And like I mentioned, it's totally free. They'll give you nutrition information. They'll provide information about clinical trials. And that's so vital for beating this disease. We mentioned it before, 6% is the survival rate. By getting more people enrolled in these clinical trials, hopefully that number will change down the road.
Yeah, because right now the main kind of treatments are surgery. If you're lucky enough for the cancer or the tumor to be detected early, they can go in and do what's called the Whipple procedure and remove the tumor, and that's what I had done. And they kind of have to remove more than the tumor and then connect everything back up, which is pretty amazing that they can even do that. But that's your best bet. And then there's chemotherapy and radiation. But clinical trials become very important because we're trying to develop new treatments, and the only way we can do that is if people sign up and we try out these new things and see if they work. I mean, that's the way kind of progress happens when it comes to treating diseases. So it's very important that people who are diagnosed, that they reach out to an organization like the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network and find out what is available for them. So treatment on the back end, and the other thing that our organization is working on that's super important is screening methods. That's one of the reasons why this is such a deadly disease, is because there are no screening methods. There is nothing akin to a colonoscopy or a mammogram or anything like that, so that by the time symptoms show up, it's often too late. And so a huge breakthrough would be if we could find that people have this disease earlier on, so that we can intervene earlier on with surgery, with chemo, with radiation.
And we mentioned the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. For those who aren't aware of the organization, it's a group of volunteers like you and myself that are involved in several key things. It's actually 4, and if you look at the Wage Hope symbol, it represents the 4 different areas, which involves research, community outreach, advocacy for a cure, and also patient support, which involves the PALS, the hotline. So it's a 4-tiered plan that is hoping to get toward that 2020 goal of doubling the survival rate, which we mentioned before is at 6%. So through our work and through the volunteers all across the country, we're hoping to make a difference in this disease. And one of the ways we have been doing it is through our events. And we have 3 key events throughout the year. The first one being Advocacy Day, which is usually in June or right around June. I know you've been involved in it, and I've been involved in it as well.
Amazing, wonderful event.
We head down to Washington, D.C., and we ask Congress to make some changes with this disease. Recently, the Recalcitrant Cancer Research Act was passed in 2013, and that is telling the National Cancer Institute to develop a strategic plan for not only pancreatic cancer, but also some of the other deadliest cancers out there. Franco, can you talk about your experience of going down to Capitol Hill and asking Congress to get something done?
Absolutely, amazing. The idea that you can go down and advocate and meet with your congressperson, and then meet with your senators, and actually sit down across the table with them and say, listen, this is something that's important to me. And on that day, to have 400 or 500 people wearing purple, and you're all through the halls of Congress, you're passing people in purple, going to visit their Congress people to send the same message. It's just so powerful, and it makes you feel like, wow, what a wonderful country we live in. That it is democracy in action, and it's very empowering, and you just come home thinking like, wow, we can make a change here. And we can, and we are. And passage of that bill at a time when not a lot was happening in Congress was an incredible success.
Yeah, and if they don't know, if you're a passerby in Washington, you would think it's a Barney convention, but it's really for getting something done for pancreatic cancer, and it's very important that we get those voices heard.
Absolutely.
Even if you can't go to Washington, D.C., people can actually call in to the local congressmen and congresswomen, and they can reach out that way as well. So that's a definite key event.
Yeah.
Also, the other two events, one of them is Purple Light, which usually takes place in March, early March. We have held it in Edison in the past. You could find out more information if you go to purplelight.org. That's the website. But that's a vigil for hope and for those who have lost someone to pancreatic cancer, like myself and you as well, but also people that are afflicted with this disease and are currently fighting. We want to see the numbers change, and it's a really amazing ceremony where purple glow sticks are used, and every time a name is read off, it's cracked. And I know for me, it's a very, very powerful ceremony. What's your feelings?
Absolutely. Just, again, it's one of those events where you come together with people, and in this case, it's people that have lost a loved one, but just to see those people every year and to be reminded of our loss, and also to kind of touch base and encourage each other in the progress we're making is just tremendous.
And then the last key event would be Purple Stride, New Jersey. And we've seen this ceremony grow from a couple of hundred to thousands. Yeah. And this also takes place in North Jersey. You can find out more information by going to purplestride.org/New Jersey. And usually the website is up around May or June before the event, but it's definitely an amazing, amazing event if you've never been to a Purple Stride event before.
Yeah, just again, another just powerful testament to, it's a volunteer-run organization, and it's people affected by the disease coming together to make a difference. And the fact that we raised $1 million, the fact that it's grown from a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand people is astounding. And I hope we just keep growing.
So we definitely need survivors. We need family members of those that are afflicted by this disease. If you're interested in joining the Purple March, please go to pancan.org. There's a tab on the website that says Get Involved, and you can definitely find out how you can play a part, just like Franco and myself did. Every little bit helps. Every dollar helps in beating this terrible disease. And just a reminder that if you know somebody that has been afflicted by pancreatic cancer, definitely have them call the PALS hotline. That's the Patient and Liaison Services. They have Spanish-speaking people as well. So if you know somebody, definitely reach out to them, and it could make a difference in their treatment. And that pretty much wraps it up here from Edison. We want to thank again Edison Television for having us here. Franco, any final words before you want to show your tattoos or anything? Very impressive tattoos for Wage Hope.
I will refrain from showing any tattoos.
Okay.
But I will say that yes, it's people that are going to make a difference in this disease. And so again, the incidence rate is rising, but it's folks like us that are going to make a difference in it by raising money, by raising awareness. And the last thing you want is to hear that your loved one has this disease. And that's today. But pretty soon, we're hoping that won't be the case.
And we're hoping the whole studio is filled with survivors. I don't know how other people might feel about that, but we want to thank you once again. I'm Todd Cohen. This is Franco Jurisic from the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. Thanking you for your time. Have a great day.